Chapter 5: Planning and Goal Setting. Most organizations have goal setting and review systems that new managers use. Not everyone thrives under a disciplined goal setting system, but setting goals and assessing results are tools that can enhance a new manager's impact. A goal is defined as a desired future state that the organization attempts to realize. Goals are important because they define the purpose of an organization. A plan is a blueprint for goal achievement and specifies the necessary resource allocations, schedules, tasks, and other actions. Goals specify future ends, plans specify today's means. The word planning usually incorporates both ideas. It means determining the organization's goals and defining the means for achieving them. Here's an illustration of the levels of goals and plans in an organization. The planning process starts with a formal mission that defines the basic purpose of the organization, especially for external audiences. The mission is the basis for the strategic or the company level of goals and plans, which in turn shapes the tactical or divisional level and the operational or departmental level. Top managers are responsible for establishing strategic goals and plans that reflect a commitment to both organizational efficiency and effectiveness. Tactical goals and plans are the responsibility of middle managers. Operational plans identify the specific procedures or processes needed at lower levels of the organization. Frontline managers and supervisors develop operational plans that focus on specific tasks and processes that help meet tactical and strategic goals. Planning at each level supports the other levels. The organizational mission. At the top of the goal hierarchy is the mission, the organization's reason for existence. The formal mission statement is a broadly stated definition of purpose that distinguishes the organization from others of a similar type. Just to give you an idea, here are photos during one of the annual planning sessions of the USC Business Administration Department faculty members. Each year, every department of the different USC schools come together to create strategic, tactical, operational plans for the school year. Sometimes planning sessions like this could go on up to late in the evening and for several days. It is also true with other organizations involving different types of businesses. The overall planning process prevents managers from thinking merely in terms of day-to-day activities. Rather, it allows for a broader look at the overall conditions of the business. The process begins when managers develop the overall plan for the organization by clearly defining mission, vision, core value statements, and set short-term and long-term goals. Second, the broader plans are translated into action plans, which include defining tactical plans and objectives, developing a strategy map to align goals, formulating contingency and scenario plans, and applying flexible goal settings. Third, the managers lay out the operational factors needed to achieve goals. This involves devising operational goals and plans, selecting the measures and targets that will be used to determine whether things are on track, and identifying stretch goals and crisis plans that might need to be put into action. Performance management tools for executing the plan include management by objectives or MBO, performance dashboards, single-use plans, and decentralized responsibility. Then finally, managers periodically review plans to learn from results and shift plans as needed as they begin a new planning cycle. Goals and plans. Strategic goals are broad statements describing where the organization wants to be in the future. These are sometimes called official goals. They pertain to the entire organization rather than to specific divisions or departments. Strategic plans define the action steps by which the company intends to attain strategic goals. A strategic plan is a blueprint that defines organizational activities and resource allocations. Strategic planning tends to be long-term. Tactical goals are the results that major divisions and departments within the organization intend to achieve. Tactical goals apply to middle management and describe what major subunits must do for the organization to achieve its overall goals. Tactical plans define what major departments and organizational subunits will do to implement the organization's strategic plan. They tend to be for a shorter time period. Operational goals are the specific results expected from departments, work groups, and individuals. Operational plans are developed at the lower levels of the organization to specify action plans toward achieving operational goals and to support tactical plans. What are the characteristics of effective goals? Goals should be specific and measurable. When possible, goals should be expressed in quantitative terms. Vague goals do not tend to motivate employees. Effective goals have a defined time period. Goals should specify the time period over which they will be achieved. A time period is a deadline on which goal attainment will be measured. Goals cover key result areas. Key result areas are those items that contribute most to the company's performance. They should include both internal and external customers. A few carefully chosen goals with clear measures of success can focus organizational attention, energy, and resources more powerfully. The measurements are referred to as key performance indicators or KPIs and assess what is important to the organization and how well the organization is progressing toward attaining its strategic goals. Another characteristic is choice and clarity. A few carefully chosen, clear, and direct goals can focus organizational attention, energy, and resources more powerfully. Effective goals are challenging but realistic. The best quality programs start with extremely ambitious goals that challenge employees to meet high standards. When goals are unrealistic, they set employees up for failure and lead to decreasing employee morale. If goals are too easy, employees may not feel motivated. Stretch goals are extremely ambitious, but realistic goals challenge employees to meet high standards. And finally, effective goals are linked toward rewards. The impact of goals depends on the extent to which salary increases, promotions, and other rewards are based on goal achievement. People who attain goals should be rewarded. Effective goals should be SMART, that is, S meaning specific. It has to state what needs to be done. Therefore, words used should be action words. M stands for measurable. Provide a way to evaluate, use metrics or data targets. A means achievable. It has to be within your scope, possible to accomplish, and attainable. R means relevant, makes sense within your job function, and improves the business in some way. T, time-bound, state when you'll get it done. Be specific on date or time frame. Management by Objectives or MBO is a method by which managers and employees define objectives for every department, project, and person, and use them to monitor subsequent performance. Four major activities must occur in order for MBO to be successful. The four major activities are the following. First, set goals. Setting goals is the most difficult step in MBO and should involve employees at all levels. A good goal should be concrete and realistic, provide a specific target and time frame, and assign responsibility. Mutual agreement between employee and supervisor creates the strongest commitment to achieving goals. Next, develop action plans. An action plan defines the course of action needed to achieve the stated goals. Action plans are made for both individuals and departments. Step 3. Review progress. A periodic progress review is important to ensure that action plans are working. This review allows managers and employees to see if they are on target and if corrective action is needed. Fourth, appraise overall performance. The final step in MBO is to evaluate whether annual goals have been achieved for both individuals and departments. Success or failure to achieve goals can be part of the performance appraisal system and the designation of salary increases and other rewards. The benefits of the MBO process can be many. Corporate goals are more likely to be achieved when they are focused on manager and employee efforts. Problems with MBO occur when the company faces rapid change. The environment and internal activities must have some stability for performance to be measured against goals. In contrast to MBO, which focuses on objectives, management by means, or MBM, is a new systematic approach that focuses on the methods and processes used to achieve those objectives. According to MBM, when managers pursue their activities in the right way, positive outcomes will result. MBM focuses people on considering the means rather than just on reaching the goals. Benefits of goals and planning. Goals and plans provide a source of motivation and commitment. Planning can reduce uncertainty for employees and clarity what they should accomplish. Goals and plans guide resource allocation. Planning helps managers decide where they need to allocate resources such as employees, money, and equipment. Goals and plans are a guide to action. Planning focuses attention on specific targets and directs employee efforts toward important outcomes. Goals and plans set a standard of performance. Because planning and goal setting define desired outcomes, they also establish performance criteria so managers can measure whether things are on or off track. Goals and planning also have limitations. Goals and plans can create too much pressure. If managers and employees are under too much pressure to meet overly ambitious goals, they may result to dysfunctional or unethical behavior in order to meet their targets. Goals and plans can create a false sense of certainty. Having a plan can give managers a false sense that they know what the future will become. Goals and plans may cause rigidity in the turbulent environment. A related problem is that planning can lock up the organization into specific goals, plans, and time frames which may no longer be appropriate. Goals and plans can get in the way of intuition and creativity. Success often comes from creativity and intuition, which can be hampered by too much routine planning. Managers can benefit from planning and control its limitations by using innovative planning approaches that are in tune with today's turbulent environment. There are three approaches that help brace the organization for unexpected and even unimaginable events. They are the following. Contingency plans define company responses to be taken in the case of emergencies or setbacks. Contingency plans cover such situations as catastrophic decreases in sales or prices and loss of important managers. Scenario building involves looking at current trends and discontinuities and imagining possible alternative futures to build a framework with which unexpected future events can be managed. With scenario building, a broad base of managers mentally rehearse different scenarios based on anticipating the varied changes that could impact the organization. Scenarios are like stories that offer alternative vivid pictures of what the future will look like and how managers will respond. Typically, 2 to 5 scenarios are developed for each set of factors, ranging from the most optimistic to the most pessimistic view. Crisis planning prepares the organization, its managers, and its employees to cope with sudden catastrophic events that could destroy the firm if a crisis response plan were not in place. Although crises may vary, a carefully thought out and coordinated plan can be used to respond to any disaster. In addition, crisis planning reduces the incidence of trouble, much like putting a good lock on a door reduces burglaries. Essential stages of crisis planning. Crisis prevention. Although unexpected events and disasters will happen, managers should do everything they can to prevent crisis. A critical part of the prevention stage is building trusting relationships with key stakeholders such as employees, customers, suppliers, governments, unions, and the community. By developing favorable relationships, managers can often prevent crises from happening and respond more effectively to those that cannot be avoided. Good communication helps managers identify problems early so they do not turn into major issues. Crisis preparation includes designing a crisis management team and spokesperson, creating a detailed crisis management plan, and setting up an effective communication system. Some companies are setting up crisis management offices with high-level leaders who report directly to the CEO. The crisis management team is a cross-functional group of people who are designated to swing into action if a crisis occurs. They are closely involved in creating the crisis management plan they will implement if a crisis occurs. A spokesperson should be designated. The crisis management plan is a detailed written plan that specifies the steps to be taken and by whom if a crisis occurs. The plan should include the steps for dealing with various types of crises such as natural disasters like fires or earthquakes, normal accidents like economic crisis or industrial accidents, and abnormal events such as product tampering or acts of terrorism. The plan should be a living, changing document that is regularly reviewed, practiced, and updated as needed. Innovative approaches to planning. Decentralized planning means the planning experts work with managers in major divisions or departments to develop their own goals and plans. Planning comes alive when employees are involved in setting goals and determining the means to reach them. Set stretch goals for excellence. Stretch goals are reasonable yet highly ambitious goals that are so clear, compelling, and imaginative that they fire up employees and engender excellence. They are typically so far beyond the current levels that people have to be innovative to find ways to reach them. An extension of the stretch goal is the concept termed as the Big Hairy Audacious Goal, or BHAG. A BHAG is any goal that is so big, inspiring, and outside the prevailing paradigm that it hits people in the gut and shifts their thinking. End of chapter discussion.